Hello, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to your love reading. Capricorn. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I just did Sagittarius. Capricorn, welcome to my channel. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What's happening next in your love life? What is happening next in your love life? All right, well, let's see. Frozen out in the cold. All right, well, it looks like the light's still on, but somebody's keeping distant is what I'm seeing. You know, it's like, why we're so close, but yet it feels like we can't, we can't connect, right? Something's stopping you and another person from keeping each other at arm's length, at arm's distance. You know, neither of you like it. But it also feels as though something is, getting in the way, but neither of you can figure out what it is. So let's see what the challenge is. You know, nothing changes. Doesn't seem like anything's changing. Every time you guys try, something comes up that repeats itself. All right, somebody is unwilling to change, or you feel like maybe it's you. Maybe you feel like somebody just, always kind of keeps you guessing, always kind of keeps you hanging. And, what I don't like about this version of the Five of Pentacles is it's just, there's such an energy of, I know you're there and I want you here, but it's easier to keep you there. Even though it's a sad energy, but also sort of a glimpse of hope. There's always some sort of light on that gives you some sense of security. And it can be a breadcrumbing type of energy too. But they keep the light shining just enough so that when you connect with this person, you feel like there's a purpose, there's a meaning. It means so much, because they know, it's like they know what they're doing, but on the same hand, I don't think they understand the depth that, it could be hurting you. All right. So, and it's like what's happening here, though, is a problem, an ongoing problem that hasn't changed, that doesn't seem to want to shift or change. Now, I have the twin flame journey here, and where do I stand? Maybe some of you feel like this person is a twin flame, and and maybe, and if it is, then that it still doesn't make it right to deal with, crumbs, and that's part of the twin flame journey, is understanding karma and lessons don't always mean that you stay. It means that you may have to shut something down in order for it to change, right? But the connection, it's like we try to focus on the good more than the bad, even though, you're constantly questioning the relationship in general. You never know where you stand. And you don't always know if this person really truly feels the connection the way you do. And sometimes you question what you're supposed to be doing. And, so the twin flame journey can be a very difficult journey, because there is sometimes no connection like this, where it does bring out this raw intensity, but it also brings out some of the worst, qualities in one another. And it's not always an easy journey. So let's take a look at your person. Don't forget to stay to the end. I will have a hidden truth, plus I'll do Aries through Pisces and get an oracle and a yes/no bonus. Ooh, the Sun card. All right, so let's see your person, their biggest challenge with this, and any intentions this week, right? Now I have the Fool energy. So it feels like, all right, well, the Fool energy is here and we have this chance to start something. All right. And it can be a fresh start, right? But the Fool also is somebody that may use the excuse like, I just want to see where things go. Let's just take it day by day. And it's an avoidance technique too. You know, it's a let's just see where things go, but you're always standing there questioning, where do you stand? All right. And another person kind of being lighthearted, like the fool energy, it feels like, that energy itself gives you this feeling like, oh, there's something there, let's just wait and see. Maybe I'm overthinking things. All right. So you got to be careful with that one, because your person here, even if they have feelings for you and they want, but they could be avoiding, commitment, right? I don't want to commit just yet. Let's just take it day by day. But that means who's taking more of the risk here? You or them. All right, because you're wanting stability and you really want it, but they're kind of keeping you hanging here, and you've got to risk the fact that, what if they always stay like this? Like, let's just take it as it is, and you just never know what's going to happen next. So you have the Empress card for your person. Their biggest challenge, though, is commitment, Four of Wands. All right. So they are kind of taking care of, their self, worrying about themselves, enjoying the moment. I have a really good, you've got the Empress here too. So it feels like, it already does feel like the seeds have been planted in this relationship, which is why it's hard for you when you're not seeing changes. You've been stuck in this waiting period, because the challenge as the Four of Wands is that milestone, is that, are we a thing? Do we have a label? You're just going to sit back and not take any action. It's like your person's just trying to keep things simple, and, given enough, that it feels like it could possibly go somewhere. But the wait-in period, depending on how long you guys have been waiting for this, could definitely be causing some grief for you. It's starting to maybe affect you in a sense that, you're starting to feel rejected. Now let's see how they view and feel about you, and then you and them. The Nine of Swords, they know you must have given them a mouthful, all right? Because, there is some regrets there. All right, the way you view them, the Ace of Wands, the biggest challenge you have with them, the Wheel of Fortune. All right, you never know which way things are going. It just feels like you can't get off this wheel. All right, there's a lot of karma there. Things just keep going around in circles, and it never seems like we get to the next destination, which is that Four of Wands. Right. So they view you, the Nine of Swords, like, and I feel bad if they know you're stressing. They know that you're having anxiety. They know that it's, so that to me too is like, well, why not make some changes here if you know that I'm stressing about this much, it's keeping me up. It's overwhelming me, and there is some guilt there. They know. Right. And you're waiting for them to make a decision, initiate. You want them to put out the fire. You want them to, or start the fire. It feels like you expect them to step up, and it's probably, from this reading, not a lot to ask for. So communicate with me. Talk to me. Tell me where I really stand. Tell me what's really going on. All right. It seems like you can't sit around and wait forever here. I need you to initiate. But the problem is the Wheel of Fortune, which is, somebody here that makes it doesn't like to take risks. All right. So if they feel like anything has affected them in the past, or anything reminds them of something from their past, whether you realize it or not, you don't know. You may not have done anything, but something you say or do could trigger this person, where they feel like, I don't know if I want peace and simple, I don't know if I want to get in a relationship again, and that could be why your person's not sure they want to take the chance, right? But also, it just feels like this person, you know, focuses on everything that could possibly go wrong. You know, the Five of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune as a challenge. It's like, you know, poor me in a type of energy, right? Nothing ever works out, you know, negative energy, right? Which could be projected onto you. And that's the thing, is your person here is afraid to take a chance there. So they're trying to avoid commitment. What is their next intentions towards you, and what should you do? I do have the King of Cups here. And what should you do? The Eight of Pentacles. All right. So this is pretty, you got to keep, this is telling me you got to keep focusing on what you're doing. All right. You got to do you, not jump to this person every time they reach out to you, because they've already got you in a pattern to where they have you just enough, because they do have feelings for you. All right. But emotions doesn't do anything to solidify a relationship, right? It doesn't do anything. All right. So this to me feels like you've got to take your attention off them, as if you want to get off this hamster wheel, right? Because this person here is comfortable with you, comes around, they get what they need. You know, they feel close with you, they feel nurtured, but they're also a fixed energy, so they don't change. They don't change. They change on their own terms. Right. So you may get an emotional message this week. They may, you know, they keep the light on, they attract you in, because this is somebody that loves, you know, to feel comfortable with somebody, loves to be around somebody. But you want somebody who's putting in the effort. And this person, it feels like they know how much you want them. They know how much you like them. All right. And so you got to play their game, is what I'm getting. You got to play their game. And I know, look, you know, some of you are saying, I ain't playing games, and I wouldn't either. So I'm not disagreeing with you. But what I'm saying, you know, if you're in this position and you're feeling like you just can't let go of this person, and they've got you hooked with being a Scorpio energy, you got to take a look at what Spirit's saying here for this reading, what to do. You want to get off the hamster wheel, you got to turn things around. You know, whenever they come in to get what they need, you know, you've got to focus on what you need. All right. So let's see Aries through Pisces for you. What to expect from Aries through Pisces this week. Aries, I don't see much, but, you know, still feeling like no matter what you say, you never get what you want back. Or no matter how you approach this, you know, it's the same outcome. The Five of Swords, it's like you think if you act nice, talk nice, or, you know, maybe try to accommodate them, it just feels like you're always beat. It's like it never gets anywhere. So you may have, you know, conversation with them this week, but there could be still some disappointment in the air. I have Taurus here, Three of Wands. So you have a Taurus energy. The challenge is the Four of Wands. All right. It's like, yeah, I have love for you, but I'm just taking my time. Just taking my time, right? And so a Taurus here is still not taking that next step. They're not moving. You know, so it's up to you how you want to deal with this. You know, if you've been going on with the Taurus for the past 3 years, 3 weeks, 3 months, they're showing you their pace. And it looks like they do want to see something with the two of you, but they're not taking action, right? They're not labeling it. I have Gemini. I have the Hermit card. So I see a Gemini here, kind of keeping the distance, right? Keeping the light on, you know, constantly keeping the light on, but likes to be alone. So whenever they want to come out of their cave, they're hoping you're there, and then they back up, and, you know, it's like, I need to go on my own again. So that'll work if you're okay with them not always wanting to be around, or them always being distant from you. Cancer, I see the Ten of Swords. So it feels like you've been down this path with a Cancer several times. And so you already know what you're getting. That's karma. So if they come back around, it doesn't look like much has changed. It's just like we're constantly dealing with, I knew better, you know, oh, I saw this coming, but I keep giving it another shot because that connection feels good when you finally see them. Leo, I see the Eight of Swords. So Leo's still giving off, you know, this negative energy. A lot of doubt here with a Leo. They can't make a decision. Virgo, I see wanting to work things out with you, wanting to get together. So Virgo may put more effort into this week. Libra, I see the Ten of Pentacles, focused in on responsibilities, focused in on home, family, and they seem to be very invested in this connection with you too. They may see a future with you. Scorpio stepping up to the plate this week, all right? So they don't want to lose you. They want to connect with you, all right? But they have to be the one to take action. Sagittarius, I see the Queen of Pentacles. So Sag, you know, really wanting to, they know what they need to do. If there's another person in the picture, I mean, you guys know it's a complicated situation. They still care about this connection and want to see it go somewhere. But you also got an earthy energy here too, where are they, you know, they've got to step up. They got to take physical action towards you to prove it. Capricorn, I see the Star card. You know, if you're in alignment with this person, you'll come together. But you got to hold this person accountable. That's the bottom line. Hold them accountable. Because there is potential for this to come together, but, you know, it depends on, you know, how long you feel like waiting, how long you feel like hanging on there. You know, my golden rule is, I don't know if it's a golden rule, but it's like, I'm not going to sit around and wait, but if the second you walk away and somebody thinks that you're not going to give into this anymore, and you really are not crying wolf, that is when somebody here knows that they've crossed the line with you and they can't keep playing games with you. So it's about weighing out what's more important, and a connection right now, talking to somebody, getting that text, or having somebody that's going to be there long term. And if you're wasting your time right now, you know, with somebody. So Aquarius, I see Knight of Pentacles, slow moving, but still moving. So Aquarius investing in this connection. And Pisces, I see the Chariot card also. It feels like Pisces wants to make this work. So what does Spirit want you to know? And I'll get a hidden truth and a yes, no. Thank you for that super sticker. Appreciate you. The road is clear. You know what to do. Walk it your way. You've got to take the reins. You've got to grab the steering wheel and direct it in a new direction. Your person's not changing, not leading, not moving. All right. Any hidden truth about your person? You know, somebody gets back in under your skin because they let you know that they can't get enough of you, that they want you there. All right. And I know more than you think, and I don't want to let you go. And I get to hide my feelings, and I can be myself with you. So you notice that this is kind of like contradictory, right? It's like, I don't want to let you go. I hide my feelings, and I give you just enough to make sure that you stay there. And I act like I don't know what's going on, but I know how much it's really stressing you out. So whatever you want to do with that, let's see your bonus yes or no. Yes or no. Think about your question, Capricorn. Think about hyping, subscribing, and hitting that QR code. Check out the goodies there. Thank you. The glasses are really difficult for me right now. They're new, they're hard, I didn't realize. Look at this, Capricorn. You got the Devil card. I've got a no for your question on your mind. I've got Capricorn, I have Saturn energy, lots of karma, lots of lessons, right? And discipline. Somebody really, there's a strong, unhealthy attachment, right? And the desire's there, and you both kind of, you know, are bonded by this. But this is not getting, if you want change and you want something to evolve, you know, we're gonna do something different. I love you guys. All right. Sorry about the beginning calling you Sag. I just finished Sag's reading. So I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll be here in a little bit with Aquarius. And then, yes, live readings later on today. Somebody said, well, my ex and Anne actually told me that progressives take sometimes a few weeks to get used to. I can see far away, crisp and clear, but close up. Well, now that I've been wearing them for a couple hours, I can actually see close up a lot better, and I can read the cards better. But when I first put them on, it's too much. I'm like, you know, thank you for forgiving me. Okay. I hope I do get used to them. My sunglasses are easier for me to get used to because when you're driving, you're focusing on what's going on in front of you. God, when it rains, it pours. You know? I've been hearing some people just hate the progressives, and some people actually, once you get used to them, love them. Yeah, I've had a headache. It's better today, but I've had a headache because they dilated my eyes twice, and then the pressure, the machine. Yeah, it's been a struggle. If this doesn't feel good after a month, I'm going back. I'll go back and tell them this is no bueno. All right, guys. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.